It was a late night, but an early morning for Illinois Democrats. A few red eyes in the House, both from tears and from a lack of sleep. Abortion is a hot topic right now among the speakers at the Illinois breakfast this morning. We heard from Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, who talked about recent pieces of legislation that the Pritzker administration signed to protect abortion in Illinois, especially those coming from out of state to seek abortion. There were some states that were attempting to criminalize folks coming from their states to this state to get an abortion. As you know, Illinois is a haven. Here's a little bit of what Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton had to say.
Finally elect a woman.
I'm here as a woman, a black woman, a mother of 4 daughters who I thought would have more rights than I did, not fewer. And though I am so incredibly proud of the work that we are doing to ensure Illinois' place as an oasis for reproductive freedom, I'm devastated still to this day that Donald Trump's extremist Supreme Court found a way to relegate us to second-class citizens.
One candidate at a time.
And now I'm joined by 27th Ward Chicago Alderman Walter Burnett, who lives in the ward that is the center of the political universe right now, 2 blocks from the United Center. Alderman Burnett, first of all, with that fence breach yesterday, what's the latest you heard about that?
Well, I know that the police and the Secret Service are readjusting. They're getting ready. They did a great job yesterday in handling the situation, getting it back intact. Protesters yesterday were pretty much peaceful. It was a peaceful protest itself. For that breach, the officers reacted right away. The superintendent was right there on the ground. They got everything back in order real quick. I'm so proud of them. I feel so secure with how they handled it yesterday. I think we're going to be in a better place today, and I don't think that will happen again.
What are residents saying about living in the security perimeter and seeing thousands and thousands of dignitaries walk by their neighborhood?
Well, you know, you get a lot of different reactions. Some folks are very excited about it. Some folks are starstruck. You know, some folks are worried about and concerned about the protesters. Some folks are feeling very comfortable with so many police and all of those sort of people being in the neighborhood. I think it's unique. Some people, of course, are concerned about not being able to park in front of their houses. They can't wait till it's over with. But they're excited that people are in our neighborhood. Our neighborhood got a lot of work done to it. We after this, we're going to have a big benefit, you know, with all of the infrastructure work that has happened in the neighborhood. So people are really happy about it.
All right, Alderman Burnett, we'll see you there tonight. Maybe I'll stop by for a barbecue if you're grilling out in your front yard or something like that.
I'll probably be either running to the bed or going to the salt shed to listen to Johnny Legend.
That's right. Okay, so it was early morning, but it's going to be a very late night because tonight is the Governor Pritzker party at the Salt Shed where John Legend, music superstar, is going to play. That doesn't start until about 11, and given the way things ran over last night, it could start later than that, and then they're right back at it at 7 a.m. tomorrow. The coffee is flowing right now, Natalie, and I don't even drink coffee, and I've had a large cup of it. So we're just going to keep going and going and going.
All right, we might see a Paris like we've never seen Paris before today. That's reason enough to tune in.